Hello, I'm Shieldwall100 and welcome back to my games room. I've been playing a lot of Strength and Honour recently and I'm joined by my good friend Kevin today to play some more. I've run some demo games with him, he seems to enjoy himself, at least he said so. He'll be allowed out if he continues to enjoy himself, otherwise he had to stay. And we're going to be playing a game set in Trajan's Dacian Wars, with me as the Dacians and Kevin as the Principate Romans. So here we go. Here's my army in its 2mm glory of Dacians. I have a unit of elite warband who will probably have my general with them. A frenzied warband because frenzy is fun. 2 open order warbands of the usual warriors who've turned up to help. Some archers because I quite like the idea of having archers in any game really. That bit of range is quite fun to have. It makes it a bit different from the usual barbarian fare. A unit of skirmishers who most likely will be parcelled out and obliterated in short order. And then the mounted contingent consisting of some cataphracts, who are most likely Sarmatian allies, and the normal cavalry units who are probably a mixture of Dacian and Sarmatian nobility as well. So there we go. Overall, quite a tough little army really, with some very mixed things in there, but I'm hoping to be able to overwhelm the Romans and just pick them apart as I surround them.
Good afternoon, everybody. So yeah, I'm Kevin. I'm in charge of the Roman legions today, up against Lee. So I've taken myself a unit of skirmishers, which I may or may not break off into the front of my phalanx, 2 units of veteran Roman auxiliaries, and I suspect I'll put my command character into one of those units, 2 solid units of experienced Roman legion, and then some Roman cavalry as well. Having used these a few times before, they can pack a bit of a punch, but then again, it's a really disciplined army, and yet again, I've rolled some really poor dice in the past, and they've all routed and thrown the game for me. Obviously, we've got Lee's army over there. He outnumbers me. We're going to work out our break points in a minute. We're going to roll for our augurs and see how many command points we get. In general, to rob other game systems, it's kind of a sort of experienced Space Marines versus a horde of orcs kind of affair.
And we all know who wins those ones.
Yep, it all comes down to who's going to throw the best dice, let's face it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We'll be back with you in a second.
Deployment is now finished, and here's my Dacians in an unconventional formation, I think we'll all agree, but the cataphracts are out on the wing, supported by the archers, and then we started getting bold, moving the warbands. As you can see, I've split my skirmishers up to help. I think that's just very sensible when you're dealing with some naturally very tough Roman hombres anyway. My elite warband is in the middle with the lion's share of the skirmishers, because the chieftain likes to be kept in the manner that he's accustomed to. Open order warband carries on, and finally my cavalry just over here. Facing off against them is the Kevin's legions in an also fairly unconventional formation, but nonetheless they're Romans, so they can generally get away with anything they need to really, because they can reform and move around much better than me. So he's got legions again. His skirmishers have broken down to support, his cavalry in the centre, and then his auxiliaries on the far flank facing off against my units. So yeah, we've got a pretty good battle line facing off against each other. Right, in terms of augurs, Kevin rolled superior to me certainly, so here's and he's got a much better general as well, so that's why he's got 2 generalship points and a whole bunch of other counter placements influenced by his experiences so far, and an army breakpoint of 14. Here's mine with much less to pick from, a worse general, but I know that I need defense counters because my discipline is generally pants compared to his, but I do have a higher army breakpoint of 16. Let's see what happens now as we get into turn 1. And we'll dice off to see who goes first, and we'll report back.
First things first, for the old Roman legions, pretty much stood around at the back, steady advance up on what is my right hand flank, 2 decent combat units and a cavalry unit. It was all kind of just moving forward because that's the way a phalanx works. I anticipate Lee coming swarming in because he has to. He just moves forward, he doesn't get to muck around too much. I tried a cheeky charge with my cavalry, needed a natural 6 to get it and didn't get it. If I failed, it would have ended my turn. It was the last thing I did. I ended my turn.
No such luck for the Dacians. I don't have the I'm not drowning in reroll points on my command board as my opponent happens to be over there. So I managed to manoeuvre the cataphracts a little bit to address them against the Roman auxiliaries. Tried moving the archers, no good there, and then just tried to manoeuvre the cavalry and failed the roll to do so on a natural 1. So we're kind of stuck, but don't really have the command points at this range to really waste them. So I'm just going to let it be and let the Romans make mistakes for me.
Well, tactics is tactics. Carried on moving the entire line forward. This unit echeloned across to try and give some more support to the main line, where I'm going to probably take some charges, I think, this turn. Auxiliary unit, first one moved up 2 squares, second one only moved up a square. Not ideal, opposite cataphracts. I'm probably going to get charged, might get smushed. Roman cavalry took the piss a little bit, if I'm honest. I went charging in to the frenzied warband. Lee was supported by the open order warband. He had a line of skirmishers. It was 2 dice. Lee got to choose. Chucked in a 5 and a 6. Lee rolls a 5, just negates my combat entirely, but he lost his skirmishers. All in all, not a bad round. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. But I think there's going to be some combats when Lee starts making some orders.
Well, Kevin wasn't wrong when he said he thought things were going to be mixed up right now, and I had to be honest, I did not think so, but I didn't foresee my rolls. Having warbands, meaning that you have to move the maximum and do things, is quite different. So let's just start. The cataphracts just moved up 1 just to give these guys something to chew on. The archers are trying to make themselves as big as possible. They've moved themselves in the range. The elite warband moved up 1 space just to get, which was handy because it meant that they could give support to the frenzied warband, who thumped those Roman cavalry back with 2 successive pushback combats, and yes, forced them. No, they didn't break them, Kevin. Thank God for you, because the Roman cavalry were, however, are retiring in disorder, which counts as giving them a whole bunch more setback bunch of setback cards to kick off today's festivities. Meanwhile, however, my open order warband over here has decided to get very excited. Rolled a 6 on its movement, which means it has to go thumping forwards. Wasn't charging. Has just set itself up to be absolutely brutalised by Roman legionnaires. Let's hope it works out well for them. And having seen that, the cavalry thought that they really didn't want any part of that, and they just decided to stay put on a 1, having tried to charge. So that's my turn. My army is in complete disarray, but we have punched through the middle, so mixed bag really, I guess. And I guess if I keep everything mixed up, that's to my benefit. We'll see how it pans out.
Not what I'd hoped for in my round, if I'm honest. Experienced Roman Legion over here had a little bit of an ordeal with the open order warband, beat them, chucked them back, passed my test so I could stay where I was, trying to hold the line. Then I broke into some options. So this unit over here could try and charge into the flank of Lee's stuff, try and stop him chasing after my cavalry, but if I failed this, it's the end of my go. I could try and get my cavalry to turn around, but if I failed this, it's the end of my go. Or,
so you went with the safe option.
So I went with the safe option. Surely, with all of my eggs in one basket, my commander must be able to just, shuffle sideways so that he can support this unit. No, apparently not. 3s with a reroll. Nothing. End of your turn, Kev. Pissing into the wind. Thanks very much for turning up.
Yeah, come on, Dacians, let's fuck shit up. Right, in the middle, my frenzied warband punched through and smashed up that Roman cavalry, giving Kevin a disaster card as they routed off the board. Yay. Yes, it wasn't as easy as all that. I had to spend a movement counter just to get my open order warband through this unit's zone of control, but we got there and it was worth it. And yeah, so now I'm stuck facing this way off the board, and it's going to be a heck of a job to turn them around, but we're going to give it a go. Otherwise, things just started moving up. I've managed to form something semblance of battle line here, some desultory fire from the archers. The cataphracts launched themselves into Kevin's Roman auxiliaries over here, and we've got a mutual pushback result, hence why we're both back here accruing a setback card each. Kevin had to do some emergency reordering of his command points in order to get more defense tokens, because he is just having a bollock of a day with his discipline tests, which is great for me but terrible for his outnumbered Romans. And so yeah, that's that. We're going to move on back to Kevin's turn, and despite the fact that my army is beating him down at the moment, I've seen this with barbarians before. It all starts great, but the longer the game goes on, the less wieldy your army is, and it can go very wrong very quickly.
Time to commit. Time to commit like I've never committed before. And I'm a
He's been married.
Yeah, and I'm a divorcee. So, the first experienced Roman Legion phalanx moved up, basically to engage those two, so they couldn't support. Lee's elite warband with his boss in got charged by my boss and my boys, and after a bit of a shoeing, which I thought I was really going to decimate Lee, yet again he rolls the same number as me and completely nullified the attack, and we both lost unit skirmishers. So that was shit. The two rogue warbands, which are going to keep moving forward, apparently they're going to need like 4s to reform, which is a 50-50 chance. And looking at Lee's sort of command box over there,
I have no rerolls.
It's got no rerolls. So 50-50s to do what you want them to do for the rest of the game. You can stay there, boys. This unit, I rolled to move them. I didn't roll very high. I could move them 1 square, but that's just putting them 1 square closer to the cataphracti, which means they're going to get squished. So I left them there. And the veteran Roman auxiliaries,
pushed back the archers.
Slammed into the archers, pushed them back, gave Lee another setback card, which puts Lee on 3. I, however, do have 5 and a disaster, so it's not going to be long with my little force break point of 14 before I'm going to start panicking. But we'll see. Some more dice have to be thrown.
It's a nice short turn as we all get into the swing of things and things start to crystallise. I've managed to force back Kevin's Legion with his general in just there. Didn't manage to pursue him quite far enough, but that allowed the skirmishers to reach the fronts of their units again. I smacked this experienced Roman Legion about. They didn't fall back far enough, but it was nonetheless another setback card for Kevin. Just try to charge with the cataphracts somewhere, possibly to turn, possibly go straight forwards. Wasn't 100% sure when I rolled it, but whatever I rolled, it wasn't enough to do it, so I have found my activation, and that is the end of my turn for now. Over to Kevin.
Could be going better. If you ignore this bit, I'm actually doing alright. Unfortunately, it's this bit that decides whether I win the fucking game or not. So, what's actually happened this turn? Roman Legion over here took a swing at the open order warband. It was a dice off, and it basically came to 0.
Nothing.
Veteran Roman auxiliaries went over there and gave another kicking to the archers, sending them back, putting another one on the setback pile for Lee. My general charged into Lee's general over here. We rolled a natural 1 for the charge, had to use my generalship token. I've now basically only got 1 defense token and 1 strategy token left, and let's be honest, that's going to be used when Lee tries to call me out. So with a bit of bouncing around, the dice roll was a 2, so we both kind of fell back. Lee stood still, I went back 1 square. Lee lost his skirmishes, however, and I kept mine, which may be vital going forward, because Lee's not exactly flush with command tokens himself. That was the end of my round. Passing over to Lee.
I think fate heard Kevin's ball aching and decided to give me something back in return. This is my turn, bear in mind. First of all, the archers fired at them, thinking it'd be a nice safe action. Rolled a 1, which would have been a turnover, so I used my only attack counter to re-roll it, just so I didn't finish my activations. I wish I bloody had now, because went to my cavalry, who attacked with 2 dice on the experienced Roman Legion. 2 dice I pick. Rolled a 1 and a 2, which meant that it went well. Kevin's battle trained trait took effect, which meant that it became repulsed. So I was not only repulsed with my great cavalry, they then failed their morale check, re-rolled it, failed their morale check worse by getting a double, and routed off the board. So that's about. I managed to use a whole bunch of my counters to re-roll myself into a worse situation multiple times, and now that's the end of my turn. So, let's. So now let's see if the Romans can do as much damage to me as I've just done to myself.
Well, despite Lee's last turn, nothing seems to be improving for me, to be perfectly honest. The experienced Roman Legion gave a bit of a kicking to the open order warband, pushing them back, which was great, and I followed up, which was great. I kind of wanted to go with my boss and just go charging into Lee's boss and be like, nah, I'm on +1, it's 2 dice, pick the highest. If I don't roll a 1, I'm going to be fine. But I didn't. I thought, oh, I'll take the easy win, right?
The easy win.
Take the easy win. Went in with Roman auxiliaries, charged into the archers, rolled 2 1s and a 2. So picked the 2, which was we both get pushed back, which is great. So that's another setback for me. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 10 setbacks and a disaster and a break limit of 14. So kind of shitting it right now. But I do have a strategy, which means if Lee calls my bullshit,
I'm going to bank on you forgetting you've got that strategy point.
I'm going to go
give another beer.
I'm going to go nope, and I'll have another turn. Because it's tight as a duck's ass. Lee's got 16 breakpoint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 setbacks and a disaster.
Yeah, they're all zeros.
One more turn, baby. One more turn, and I might just be able to break him if it's not a load of zeros. We'll see. I don't know. It's like my third game. Bye.
I had my go. The archers opened firing effectually, just trying to push the Roman auxiliaries back, just to make it even harder for them to keep charging me and bullying me off the table. I declared Homunculus Est against Kevin, but he remembered to use his strategy point, having just said he was going to, in order to avoid revealing his cards.
I'm not a small man, but I am petty and vindictive.
He is very. And then I tried to charge with my cataphracts just to try and get them back into the fight, and unfortunately I rolled a natural 1, which means nothing happens. So that is the end of my turn. A very quick turn, but yep, over to Kevin. Let's see if he can leverage something.
Fuck me, ladies and gents. That, I just had the most amazing round. Well, literally had the most disappointing round. Got to that point where I need to put more setback cards over in Lee's pile, basically.
Boy, did you.
2 dice against those boys, pushed them back, another setback card for Lee. Get in. Then it came to, I need to charge. If I roll a 1, I'm not going to be able to call Lee out. Can't call him a little tiny homunculus guy. And he's going to call me, and I'm probably going to lose. We rolled anyway, didn't really matter. Rolled a 6, got into combat, brilliant. Threw some dice, pushed Lee back, brilliant. Watch Lee panic. And, well, essentially, yeah, kind of pushed himself back, and then his commander rolled a double 1, which is a, whatever that is, 1 in 36 chance of injuring his own general. And then rolled a 2, which killed his general.
Yep.
So we actually had to refer to the rulebook, because this doesn't happen. And according to the rulebook, he gains a disaster, as if it's a lost unit. He already gained the setback of being pushed back, and if I'm correct, you now have to reveal the whole lot.
So let's see what we get, shall we?
So I haven't even had to call Lee out yet, which is brilliant. It's a freebie as a result of killing his boss.
0.
Oh, fuck off.
1. 3. Oh, 6.
Yeah, boy.
7. 8. 11.
Oh, get...
14.
Well,
This doesn't look good, does it?
Only the disasters to go, and I'd score 2. 17.
I'm off.
Yeah, boy. 20. That's
more
good.
Than 16.
That's certainly more than 16.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because actually, if I'd called you out without that second disaster, you would have got away with it, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, you would have been fine. So were it not for
fine.
Lee's general dying, I just kind of want to look now, just in case, just to see what I had.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, that's a good start.
6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, actually, I was doing all right. 10, 11. 12. I was only on 12 out of 14 anyway, to be fair. So even if you did call me, I would have been like in trouble, but not dead out the game.
Okay, there you go.
There we are, ladies and gents. I'll let Lee do the final wrap up. Well done, bro. It's surprising how big a killer it is when these guys break through the line and then they can't go anywhere.
Yep.
They're like, oh, we got frenzy. Oh, we killed some stuff. Oh. Right, let's see how we go from here.
Yeah, thanks Kev for making me do the outro today when I just had the guttingest last roll of the game. I can't believe my elite warband bodyguard regiment withdrew without him and left him to get killed. that's probably what happened. Oh well, that's war, I guess. Right, yeah, that was a great game. I enjoy this game immensely, and I hope Kevin does too. That was a bit more of a mess than any of our previous games have been. Things have been usually a bit more close-knit. This is a little bit sporadic all over the place, but sometimes that's just the way it is when the battle lines start bumping into each other. I hope you enjoyed watching this game. I had a great time. We've had some fun. This is an awesome game to play with your mates with a few beers. Going to carry on enjoying it, I'm sure, and hope to see you in the next game. I've got plenty coming up. I want to do some more Chain of Command soon, because got to do something. Can't just play Ancients forever. And Batman will be back. It will definitely be back. Don't worry, it's not gone forever, so it's worth staying tuned in and keep watching. Even if I don't put a battle report straight away, I'll be doing some painting on it soon anyway, and I'll show that on the community posts. Right. Anyway, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm Shield War 100, and Kevin's been here too, and I shall see you next time.